the ideas come from the companies, or you take it to them? Like, this is what are the things I can do for you, or they come with the idea and you provide solution.
So a lot of when I was in academia, a lot of it is academia driven, where we reach out to the industrial partners to say, hey, we want to apply for government grants or etc. to do this type of thing, because they are unwilling to spend. Don't repeat the question. Okay. The question was who initiates the
ideas.
Sorry?
Who initiate the ideas?
Yeah, who initiates the ideas? Who initiates the process? So yeah, when academia, it was very much a academic side. We led that, we pushed that, because we needed to go through a lengthy process of applying for the funding, and it was more blue sky things that the end partners were interested in, but they're not willing to invest the amount of money. Since moving to industry, the type of challenges. So, for example, the last challenge here projects here, this demand forecasting. This was all done in industry. We're selling here a product, and the big flip is being able to tell them that they will see some ROI. They will have return on investment for the service that we provide to them. This is actually probably the biggest challenge that I've found coming from producing these novel solutions or AI-based solutions, even if they're not, bleeding edge technology, bleeding edge AI systems being integrated here. It's just good digital transformation and then AI built based on top of that. The problem is you don't know fully the impact that you will have without having the solution in practice, because it's so foreign to them. One of the companies that we're working with, the pig, it's a pork distributor. They said this very aptly to us. They don't mind spending £1 million or £10 million on a slicer. They know if they buy this slicer, they can remove 3 people from their workforce that they don't need to pay every etc. They can increase production by exactly this amount, and even if it's not a lot of money, well, the return on investment is like 5% or 105%, whatever, etc. They know that that's guaranteed. It's reliable. When we come to them with the solution, say, okay, we can forecast exactly where your waste is going to be, how much you need to cut down on, how much you need to now change your supply, and what you need to actually driving. You need to be spending a lot more money on marketing this certain things, that, etc. They go, that's all well and good, but how can we trust that? And we say, well, you just have to pay us money, and then we'll show it to you in a couple of months' time. And they go, yeah, but we don't want to pay you money. First, show us. And we go, yeah, we can't build something that's going to cost us hundreds of thousands of pounds without you saying you're going to pay for it. So there is a chicken egg situation when it comes to industry in these AI solutions.
So my question is, when embarking on...
Do you want to say it really loud so that I don't repeat it?
My question is, when embarking on these ideas, do you do research to see if something similar exists before going in, as to work on an investing process to improve it? Because I know I've experienced something similar to the one for the Land Rover in a different camp. That same predictive navigation, because it's seen what you've done a number of times. The minute you get in, it tells you you're going to this location without you setting the sat nav. So when you said that, it's other people must have done it. Where did the idea come from? Did you get something somewhere and try to fix an issue, or was it a novel idea?
So this actually is a bit of actually leans into the previous question. This is one of the projects that was initiated more heavily by like Jaguar Land Rover than the academic side, and that was because there was like £1 million they were going to get from the government for it. if they could prove that this was going to be environmentally friendly. And they also have to throw in a bunch of their own money as well. So it's a way of getting them to invest. Certain projects, when it comes to something like this is a capability that they know they need to invest in otherwise it's a competitive feature that if no one else has it, then great, we've got the advantage. If other people have it and we don't, we're behind the market. So there is that bit of insight when you're coming to the kind of commercially driven on this. On some of the other projects where we're developing these solutions, such as the demand sensing, it's a case of the reason why we are able to go to certain clients is because we are the only ones that are doing it. Or we may not be the only ones in the world doing it, but the market is not established. This isn't an off-the-shelf product you can have. And that's sort of part of it's the selling point, but it's also our detriment because they do turn around and go, well, wait a sec, why should I buy your product if I can see Microsoft supply chain dynamics 360, whatever, etc., is able to do features X, Y, Z, and Microsoft has thrown, £500 million into this solution, etc., etc. So there are nuances onto that, and trying to get them to understand and evidence to them that we're developing this very bespokely for them. If they were to try to incorporate their data into a Microsoft solution, they need to spend probably £500,000 to get Microsoft data scientists to convert their existing data to fit that established process. So yeah, it's always, we need to know what is going on in the market for all these solutions, but just because it does exist in the market doesn't mean that we can't still deliver it.
Because I've got a follow-up question on that, which relates to intellectual property. Because if you then work on something someone had done previously.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it comes to the realm of, when it comes to intellectual property, unless the idea is specifically patented, and it has to be, patent laws have gotten a lot more stringent because of patent abuse over the years. Of just being incredibly broad and then no one can develop anything around it, etc. But a lot of these systems, they don't seem to have specific patents that the patent is so specific that if I develop the same thing, it will be different enough. Just because it's giving you the same insight doesn't mean I've now infringed your patent. That's the thing. But where you do go onto there is a lot also around kind of the copyright infringement of what resources and data I'm using. So if we develop something using the data of one company, there are consequences if we want to try to turn around and use that solution that we've developed for someone else.
Okay.
So there's a lot of nuances in there.
Thank you, question.
So I'm interested a bit in the ethical implications of that driver prediction project. Because I could think that, let's say, someone who's an owner of the car, someone might not like the fact that it's picking up on that they've got this routine and they go to certain places, and so to me it just seemed a bit strange, because surely the simplest solution would be to ask the driver where you're going to sort of optimize their route at the beginning rather than trying to work out the journey.
So that's the thing. I mean, on that last thing, it's not just like mid-journey where it works out. It starts from the beginning, but it updates as it goes along. The idea is people don't want to interact with their system. They don't want to click things. They don't want to, if there are 10 places that they go, etc. They've done that route, say, every day for the last year. They will not. People are lazy because lazy is efficient. And yeah, they just don't. So that's part of the thing. When usually on a lot of systems, when you click the I agree for your sat nav, you've just given permission for everything. I mean, there are yeah, there are implications when it comes to a lot of GDPR, but as soon as they get your consent, that's kind of answers everything for them.
There's one way to actually make people use it, because nowadays your GPS is always on your phone for some reason. Like for me, when I get in the car, my phone is already telling me where I'm supposed to be by 9 a.m. like in school. So it knows where I'm going if I want to. It knows where I'm going. So probably for such solution, you just be on an app connected, downloaded on your phone, connected to the GPS. So
well,
that's the idea from steals your location from the GPS reading, gets on the app, and
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of problems with incorporating information from if you're talking about incorporating that, say, from your phone into the driver system, etc. There's the potential for negative effect of getting that wrong and then having to constantly integrate and be updated with third parties is not something that they want to deal with. They want their system to be updated. In fact, it has changed over the years. Now your car actually will pair with your phone and will steal your internet connection via your phone to download firmware updates on the regular. But for the most part, they want that kind of interaction to be limited.
Okay, great. There's one question from David.
Question. So, in a competitive or a competitor's car, not a Land Rover, some other car, the ethical bit would bring up a prompt to tell you if you want predictive navigation, and then you say yes to it. So, for new cars, the minute you switch it on, if you accept that, it then does the prediction. Then after a while, it then starts to charge you for that service. Yeah.
There's always ways of trying to, etc.
So you subscribe for it. That would remind you that that service is ongoing, and when the terms and conditions change, they send you emails about it as well.
The question here was just out of interest, maybe offline. Are you aware of any organisations similar to yours who work in envirotech, climate tech, or sustain tech? I may have to pick that up with you offline. There was a lot of this talk was actually originally going to go in a much different area of explaining certain things, but there were a lot of commercial sensitivities as I put the presentation together and realized that the current partners that I'm working with, even if they are fine with the data being shared and being looked at in this way, it may not go down well with everyone in their organization. And thus it just seemed like not a right idea to. A lot of work I'm currently doing is looking at this intersection of how can we create optimal decision making that reduces waste, that is environmentally positive. So we're working with the Forestry Commission to pair up satellite imagery and environmental data to predict pests and diseases in forests, so they know where that is and they can actually address it before whole swathes of the forest gets destroyed by pests and diseases, which is actually a massive thing because international trade means a lot of pests are moving around to very places they can ruin. We're also working in agriculture along the same thing, as well as working with Northern Irish prefabricated concrete makers who want to optimize their factory floors. So there's a lot of stuff that can be done on all these fronts. But I think we're way over time.
Thank you very much.